There's a version of shopping that doesn't feel like a chore, and Podium in Edmonds is it. You walk in, Nick, the owner, greets you.
What's up, dude?
Massive Sounders fan. Probably someone you've already argued with or agreed with in our comment section at some point. And suddenly, you're 45 minutes deep into a conversation about the latest Sounders news, and you haven't even looked at the clothes yet.
Let me show you around.
And then, you do look around, and everything in there is the kind of thing you buy once and keep forever. Filson, Red Wing, Heritage, Taylor Stitch, Portuguese flannel, nudie jeans, wax London, domestic and European brands, built properly, meant to last. They're at 114 4th Avenue North, right in the heart of downtown, and Nick is going to take good care of you. LobbingsCorchers.com/podium. What's up, everybody? Welcome to your post-match live for the Seattle Sounders Leagues Cup Phase 1 matchup against Querétaro FC. Folks, the Seattle Sounders have won a game. The losing streak is over. It's a 3-0 W, and nothing bad happened at all today. We're going to be basking in the glow of an emphatic victory to snap a 7-match losing streak across all competitions. Noah, we got the presser pulled up. The Seattle Sounders have a W, and in all seriousness, as we all know, it did get pretty much, I don't know if I want to say entirely overshadowed. I mean, that's one of the things we'll talk about. But obviously, Pedro de la Vega makes his triumphant return from injury in the 75th minute and then exits with what appeared to be a muscle injury.
7 minutes, all right.
7 minutes.
He put in 7 whole fire cooking minutes.
He looked great. He looked awesome.
Great. He looked
electric.
like the best player on the field for 7 minutes.
He almost scored immediately after subbing in. They were getting him going in space. He was ripping off on the counter like Leagues Cup 2025 Pedro de la Vega. Man, and in the context of everything else that happened in the game, which was, it was a win. I know we can get the caveat out of the way right off rip. I understand that it doesn't count. I understand that the opposition today was, how do we put this? Not good. Okay. So none of the goals count. The Rusnak goal doesn't count. The Rusnak, a good performance doesn't count. None of it counts.
The secondary definitely doesn't count.
I get that. But, even with it acknowledged that none of it counts, given how things have been going in a 7-match losing streak, it was nonetheless
moral victory, Ari.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see them go outplay somebody, control the game like we talked about on our pod, and score some goals. It was nice to see Sebastian Gomez have a breakout performance. So all of that had plus the De La Vega comeback. It had the vibes, not salvaged or completely, it's not like every problem on this team was solved, but it felt like there was at least something positive to talk about and build on, get to talk about a win, and then to have it end like that is obviously just, it's a gut punch. You feel for Pedro. Obviously, him coming back and returning to form was a big part of the whole premise of how this team could maybe work its way back to relevance and be a contender for trophies this season. Now it looks like, we'll see what the prognosis is, but you have to imagine this is a multi-week setback. So, it does feel like a lot of the shine off the positives I still want to talk about the positives today, Noah,
sure.
because I did enjoy watching the game and there was some genuinely good stuff out there, even opponent notwithstanding. But god damn, man, it's just I've T-bowed 3 times. T-bowed 3 times in the last 3 weeks. I T-bowed again today.
God. Just like Tim Tebow, careers ended by injury on the Seattle Sounders. Man, what a brutal end to a otherwise spirit uplifting. We do have to acknowledge, Ari, 7 games in a row, we stopped the bleeding. We cauterized the bleeding. We just did have to cut off a leg. That leg, Pedro de la Vega. That leg, we can't play soccer anymore, maybe. But what we do know is that club record, 7 losses in a row. It's over. It's done with. We're ready to turn the page. Does that mean that all the things are fixed? Absolutely not. I don't think that we've fixed a lot. But what I will say, Ari, I think Chad should give us flowers. What did we say would help change this team? giving a little bit of structure at that 6th position. I said, put Alex Roldan in that position. It will change the way this team plays. It did. And to your credit, it absolutely changed the way that Rusnak played. You literally
I took a little bit of heat for that too. People like couple people really didn't like that. They took it how I was hoping people wouldn't take it, which is that I was like excuse making for him, when in reality I think I was trying to just point out a systemic issue that I was noticing. But I do think you noticed when there was more structure and control in the midfield. I think a lot of it attributable to Alex Roldan getting put there. You saw a much more effective Albert Rusnak, and that is true even though they were playing a bad team. Okay. That is,
yes, and let's give our flowers to Peter Kingston, who we also said was going to be a core piece of this defense, or not of this defense, but of that double pivot. I think the best double pivot that I have seen outside of Christian Roldan and whoever's sitting next to him was literally the double pivot today of Alex Roldan and Peter Kingston. Peter Kingston was making dime dishers. He was absolutely moving it around, playing well, playing solid defensively, coming back. I mean, that was just so nice to see. It was so nice to see. It felt vindicating, but also it felt good to see that there actually is an option out there that can make a change.
The Seattle Sounders are getting back to their roots. We advocated for it on the pod this week. When you are the Seattle Sounders and you are in trouble, you have a tactical issue, you're up against it. What do you do? Who do you turn to? What's the solution? You put a Roldan on it. That's all you have to do, man. Like the fact that they were unable to put a Roldan on it until Alex got healthy. Now they put one on it, and the prospects have improved a little bit. And, we'll see if anything that we saw today is transferable to these games coming up, or whether it really was them merchanting on a horrible opponent like everyone's going to say. But I genuinely think that if they're able to give Alex the lion's share of that role, it's not going to turn him into like the greatest team ever. But I would be surprised if it didn't at least help the situation, make these more competitive and the team more set up to try and compete for results than they had been before it. So, that's something. I know the bar's low right now. I know we're grasping at straws, but that's kind of what you have to do when you're on a 7-match run of L's. So there's at least, sometimes there's not even a straw to grasp, but I think that's a straw. Is that not a straw? That's a straw.
It's a straw. Listen, we have to grasp one.
There. And then the whole notion of Sebastian Gomez becoming a contributor for this team, that's been a straw that I haven't even attempted to grasp at.
Listen, that straw got thrown at me. I just happened to catch it.
And he looked really good today. Like outside of just the goal, which, I thought that goal was nice to see because, the Sounders organizational philosophy, it's put a Roldan on it, but it's also, how do we score Paul Rothrock at the back post? That is the only way this team's been able to score this year. And so what if you had the winger on the other side crash the far post, and Paul Rothrock, 2 primary assists today. That was also nice to see, because I was thinking about this too, Noah. Like, he's the team's leading goal scorer this year, famously, with 6. But part of what makes Paul Rothrock effective is his chops as a facilitator and his ability to, put those crosses and that service into the box. He's a guy that should be able to give you assist production as well. He's good at that. And because he's had to carry the entire goal scoring load for the team, we really haven't seen his attacking creativity from out wide as much, for I think multiple reasons. But to see him actually unlock that part of his game again today, that was nice to see. And it was nice to see a starting number 9 score a goal. That was that the first time all season in any competition. So that stat is now over with. So yeah, I don't even know where I was. I'm straw grasping. I'm Sebastian Gomez.
And we got to talk about Paul Rothrock more. Like, Paul Rothrock he's my man of the match, truly. Like, I think his play today, in the face of being double teamed, in the face of getting slammed on the ground, in the face of absolutely getting
they were trying to
down,
kill him. They were trying to kill him.
He's played every goddamn minute of every game for the last like weeks and weeks and weeks. It is, I don't know. I love him. Paul, congratulations.
This was vintage Pauly prime time.
It was vintage Pauly prime time. And it's like, again, the guy who the entire team's shoulders is on is making like $400,000.
Yeah.
He's making like a Amazon like junior VP, junior executive level salary, which is crazy. Which, okay, now I got to talk about it, Ari. I got to talk about it. Everyone got mad at me at the beginning of the season. Everyone had something to say about my take that we should move on from Pedro because of his injury history. Everyone was chirping me in the comments online. You were chirping me. I just want to hear now, 2026, August, 6 months, 4 months to 5 months into the season, Ari. Am I cooking? Am I cooking?
I mean, you might have cooked, but it's like, was there ever any actual proposition that they were going to do that and then like do what it would have been required to get like a theoretical replacement? Like based on what we've seen from this team this year and really the last couple years, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it's like whether you cooked or not, it wasn't like that was not like a course of action that was ever going to actually be on the table. So, you know, you can take your lap. I'm not begrudging you the lap. You did say it, but really what they were always going to try and do is get him healthy and hope that saved them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what, you know, maybe he was just like, oh, you know, I'm feeling a little something in there and I don't want to chance it. And then he's going to be fine, you know?
Yeah. What I want to, you know, someone brought this up that Ferrer is making 1.8 million. What was your thoughts on him not starting today?
I think it's probably League's Cup rotation. I don't think that like.
Well, yeah, you get Sebastian Gomez some minutes for sure.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. So, and then Ferreira came on, and I thought it looked good too. He sprung the sequence that led to the last goal. A little winger moose there.
He had that literal like exact how do you call it, like that same play that he had to Osaze, that like nice through ball. It looked vintage. Like he finds those passes. He's a nice pocket player. He's a nice like finding that pass player. I can't wait for him to be our number 10.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. We'll see if you know, he has not been, he's not looked like himself during this losing streak, but kind of like we talked about on the show this week, no one in the front four has, with how just disjointed the entire operation has been.
Yeah.
So now that hopefully this whole little Alex idea will offer some stability and structure to the midfield like we've been talking about, and they can build on this. We'll see. You know, again, like I already acknowledged 4 times, everyone in the chat saying that it doesn't count and it's meaningless because the opposition was extremely subpar. They were extremely subpar. None of it counts. I get it. Also, I thought it was funny how much shit they talk considering the level of their team.
Like, yeah, they were chirping a lot. They loved to.
Why are we chirping, boys?
They literally like slammed. Okay, I have to give a huge shout out. Shout out Max Anchor, bro. Max Anchor's down for this shit. He would die for this shit, bro. Max Anchor, you are the man. You are the man, protecting his number 1 goalkeeper because like his number 1 goalkeeper gets stepped on and pushed a little bit. Max Anchor immediately up off the bench, ready to throw fucking hands. It's like, that is exactly what you need out of the guy who's probably not going to play for a while. That's the fight in the dog that we need, man.
I didn't mind the sideline dispute.
No, it was great. And then after, I don't know if you watched the video that we just posted, but literally it was like a like they were in the middle of the field brawling, knew who's running around, running away from the whole thing, getting into the brawl, like chirping. Oh my God. It was giving me vintage Inter Miami Leagues Cup shenanigans, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. That was at least added to the content. This game gave way more content than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a max. If I told you before the game we'd have Max Anchor sideline dispute.
Caleb knew. Caleb gave Max Anchor drumsticks. He knew he was a dog. He knew.
Maximum Anchor.
Maximum Anchor.
Yeah, no,
he
the
was
sideline,
about to drop that goddamn anchor on that.
The sideline dispute was funny. The chirping was funny. It really, like, honestly, I was ready to get on here and be like annoyingly positive, like positive to the point where we would get comments of like, it doesn't, you guys realize that it doesn't count and everything is still terrible. But, you know, I was going to get on here and be like, yeah, you know, Sebastian Gomez, which we're still doing, but it just feels like the De La Vega situation just casts this like shadow.
Yeah.
Which
it is just sad.
I was sort of considering.
Also, guys, this guy has been talking for, I'm not lying, 20 minutes.
I think he's getting grilled. He's
getting grilled right now.
He's trying to campaign for his job right now.
Yeah. Sorry to that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if you saw his fit. His fit is fire. He's got the like athletic polo with the long sleeve tight.
That's a nice fit. That's a nice fit. Yeah.
And
nice.
Honestly, like I kind of rock with it. Like I really like it. So I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah, no, we'll throw the Schmetzer presser up there as soon as it gets started. It just has not.
They do them Leagues Cup. They do them in a traditional tournament style where they go one coach and then the next one all in the same media room. So
yeah.
Thank you for the W Jules and the 30 Jewel. Like we love Jules. We're big Jewel guys in here. It's called Sunscreen White Boy. What are you talking about? His fit?
Is one of us burned?
Am I crispy?
I do burn. I'm not burned right now, to my knowledge.
I burn too. Yeah.
My lighting.
Yeah, actually, what's very famous about us is that we are two mediocre white boys. That's like kind of like our part of our shtick here. I do look pink, but that's because the light above me is orange.
Apparently, this coach is getting roasted. I think someone's listening to the presser, and he's under siege.
Should we tune it in? Like,
I don't really care, but.
Muchas gracias. Continuamos con una pregunta de Emiliano
I turned
Rojas.
the audio off. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
You can do interpretation.
Well, there's.
Gracias. Buenas tardes, Esteban.
Thank you. Good evening, Esteban. Good to see you. Emiliano Rojas from Staff Deportivo. You were talking about the physical part of it. It was a difficult challenge. So, mentally speaking, how are you dealing with the players? Because there were moments where the sense of control was lost throughout the game, and you said that these were 3 matches against powerful rivals, Pumas, Toluca in the league, and all the teams you played against the Leagues Cup. So how can you get back up as a team that had a shiny performance against Pachuca and was like luster in this game? What's important is the next match. Like you said, this schedule is difficult. In our analysis, we need to see what players will be available for the upcoming match, given the importance that match has. And obviously, we don't like to lose. That's the first part. But mentally and game-wise, I don't know if you have analyzed all the games, because I can tell you all of them didn't end like that. So there are many things that can be considered takeaways. We did some good plays, but I don't think this is too bad. I don't think that my team lost control. That's football, that's soccer. So maybe this is just something. This is soccer, this is football. And that is that. So the match against Tigres ended up like that. You can go back and see it. I don't think the players lost control after this result or the previous result. The club is up and running.
Bro, how is this still going?
Dude, he's just
underwent
yapping.
none changes
You're done.
compared
You're cut off,
to
bro. I'm sorry.
the last game. So
You're cut off.
we are
You're cut off. Also, to say that the players didn't crash out after that game, but they fully were fist fighting on the field, like, but brother, what are we talking about?
Anytime
Like,
he had a few of the buzzword, the like catchphrases in there, but
Yeah.
anytime you say that's soccer, that's usually a negative sign. That usually means
like holy
when-
ramble. Like,
Yeah.
come on, brother. Yeah, he
Like-
hit the we're on to the next match. Everything's
the next game is
fine,
the
no
most
time to
important.
panic.
We have to analyze who's going to be available. That's
Yeah.
really important. You have to know who is going to be able to play
Yeah.
in your next game. That's just like, you got to have that baseline. Know who's available. I could be a
Starting-
coach, man. I'd be so good at these pressers.
Dude, I think that's actually really true. Like, I don't know how tactically good you would actually. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you could do it.
No,
but,
see, I could get, if I had Atlanta United's resources, I could get them to the playoffs.
for sure. No, for sure.
I-
I think that's true. I think anyone could get them to the playoffs, but what they have going on right now, like, I mean, honestly,
They would need to give
me.
me roster control. Is he still talking?
Yeah. Oh, he's leaving. He's leaving.
Oh,
Noah's
thank
getting that dude. I low-key think I'm getting that teriyaki chicken tattoo. Like, I'm not even lying.
What was the conditions of that again?
If Nuhu doesn't get sent off, even with, like, it includes accumulation.
He didn't get sent off.
No, I know, but like the whole season, then I have to get it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
There
All
we
right,
go.
Here he is.
All right.
Here's our man. I got to turn off translation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2026 Leagues Cup press conference for the Seattle Sounders versus Querétaro. We are joined by head coach today, Brian Schmetzer. If you need translations, I encourage you to please join the Zoom link where we will be having
Chat, let me know
live
if you need to go
translations
up or
for the
down.
language of your choosing. And one more time in Spanish. Muchas gracias a todos por unirse a la prensa conferencia contra los Seattle Sounders contra Querétaro. Hoy día estamos en la junta Brian Schmetzer, el director técnico de los Sounders. Vamos a comenzar con preguntas en el salón y de ahí nos movemos al Zoom si hay tiempo. We will start with questions in person and then we will move to Zoom only if time allows. Thank you.
Well, Brian, congratulations on the win. What would you say the biggest difference from you guys was today?
Scoring early. I mean, kid, second fastest debut goal, only behind Paul Areola. So we had a couple guys recently, but scoring the goal first gave the team a little bit more confidence. And we talked about a lot of things, Jeremiah, going into the game, about a belief in winning. We went through the coaching stuff, the details, set pieces, front foot, defend well, clean sheet, all that sort of stuff. But the focus was on them believing that they could win. And so that was the best way to start. If you want to back up a message like that, is to score an early goal by a young kid who's got a ton of energy, and Paul delivering two really excellent balls. Second one to Masowski. So good way to start the first half and end the first half.
Congratulations, Brian. I wanted to ask a little bit about Pedro, though. It seemed like the night or the day was going really well, and then that was maybe the only blemish on the afternoon.
Little bit of a dark cloud there. We'll again give you guys more information as we get it, but it's right now it's a left quad injury. We don't know the severity of it. It's not his reconstructed knee or anything like that. So it's a muscular injury. So we'll give you guys more information about that in the next couple of days.
Brian, this kind of backs up the first question. Match day -1. You did talk about belief, scoring early, and then we talked about the primary assist zone, and 2 of the 3 goals came from going to primary assist zone and getting to the middle, just like Albert Rusnoko. What does it do for your offense when you can get the ball from the PAS to the top of the box?
Well, it's statistically proven, and that's where most of the assists come from. But we also challenged our team to shoot more, to throw more balls in the box. Again, Seba Gomez hit a couple of early crosses, not early crosses, but crosses in the air. Paul Rothrock header early. So we tried to get a few more balls into dangerous areas to be a little bit, maybe more fortunate or more efficient or just better at scoring goals. So I think the combination of the two, hopefully that can start to, bear some fruit.
Coach, you talked about having the young guys play the double pivot. You put Alex Roldan there for most of the game. How do you evaluate, what he brought, kind of a veteran presence?
Well, the double pivot works. I mean, your couple of questions. I don't know if there's anybody out there that doesn't like it or thinks I'm stuck in a formation, but double pivot works when you have the right combination of players with the right mindset. Different games require different things. In the second half, we put Seba Gomez back there. It's a fluid sport. If we played, 3-4-3, there's still two pivots in the middle of the field. It's not 4-2-3-1. It's just testament to Alex having a lot of experience in connecting a few passes. It's all about Peter Kingston's enthusiasm for the game, and he's going to get better, with these experiences. It's about Snyder Brunell, a lot of guys compare him to Obed. He's not Obed. He's a different player, but he's a super talented player. So when Christian comes back and Hassani comes back and we play with, the right amount of intensity, you can control games from that position.
Coach Brian, congratulations on the win. This is a win. Do you think that this win will bring the confidence to the team to start from here and on with a good momentum?
Sure, it's going to help. Look, we still have a long way to go, Felipe. Again, realistically, we're going to have a tough stretch of league games when we come Vancouver, Austin, and Cincinnati. So yes, we have to build some momentum. I thought you built, even with the bad results in Toluca, Steph's performance, and he backs it up today, gave the team belief. Seba scoring a goal gave the team belief. Having, look, Mark O'Neill coming on the field and winning a couple of tackles, and Edson, getting the ball on his left foot and going in. There's belief and, positivity coming from different players within the team. So yeah, I think it's going to help us.
Hello, Coach. Jordan Bikini. Congratulations. I wanted to ask you back to this double pivot, because then you bring Gomez to that position. What were you looking doing that?
Well, because he's trained there. He's a talented player, good technical ability. So, it was just we're trying to find some rotations where we can rest some players, and Alex had a minute restriction on him. So that's why we had to make the change. But, we brought Tino Lopez on in there against Toluca. I can move Albert back there if I need to. So different options, but we selected Seba because he's a talented player.
Brian, just for a second, with Seba though, or does that say anything about Jesus and his ability? Because I think that's I believe it's the second time Jesus hasn't started.
That's rotation, Jada. I can't play everybody. I mean, we got a game on Wednesday, and then we got a 3-game week. So, the rotation of the squad based on who plays, who started. Don't read too much into it. I'm very far away from a starting lineup if the player started tomorrow.
And then just with the game as it progressed, was there any need to kind of help the players lock in a little bit, because, giving up late goals, things like that have also been things that have worked against you?
Great question, Jada. Love that question. Yes, I was very happy with the clean sheet, because even going down a man for the last 7-8 minutes, we were actually able to control the game with some possessions. They weren't that long, but just enough to relieve pressure. Again, the determination. They had a couple half chances there at the end of the game. So I was very pleased the way the team closed out the game.
A bit more about Seba there. What have you seen from him this year that has gotten him into, a point now where he's getting some regular appearances, and that you had the faith in him to start him today?
Well, he's filled out physically. His athleticism is very good. But what I liked is just his technical ability under pressure. You know, it's got to be consistent technical ability under pressure, Jeremiah, before he gets to be a, you know, true impact starter in MLS. But he shows flashes of just being able to do the right thing in the right moment. And so he's earned those minutes. He's earned those appearances, and he's earned trust, not just from me and the coaching staff, but of his teammates.
Hi, Brian. Congratulations. After this performance, you think you have a more option for the next games?
The game against Chivas, obviously a big game because there's two big clubs. I mean, Chivas is obviously a massive club in Mexico. We are a big club. So the lineups will depend on how we come out of this game. I'm going to have to make some changes because of the fixture congestion, but you know, we'll see. We'll put a good team out there. We're at home, and so we want to make sure we entertain our fans.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes our press conference for
Thank you, everybody.
Querétaro versus Seattle Sounders.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos.
All right, that's that. Pedro
There
de
you
la
have
Vega
it.
muscle injury. We're back, baby. We're so back. Never been more back.
You know,
What did he say exactly what it was? I'm blanking.
he
now.
said quad, I believe.
Quad.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think he said quad. We'll see what the exact prognosis is next week. But I mean, like I said earlier, you have to imagine that's a multi-week setback. So, I mean, I already kind of felt this way going into the match, but now I think it's like solidified that anything they get from him this year is just like a bonus. It's icing on the proverbial cake. All right. If he does come back at some point and they get him going, they get him fit and he's contributing and, you know, God willing, they make the playoffs and he can maybe make an impact once those get started. But past that, I think it's just become a situation where you got to consider it a wash for this year. Anything you get out of it is an added bonus. And then I think
We're doing this again?
the DP
We're doing this
situation-
bit again?
What do you mean? We've been doing it all season. Like, what's been different?
We did it last season.
Yeah, but
We
like,
did it last season.
but
And we
what
did it
was-
the season before that?
what was the?
I can't do the like whatever we get is a positive when you spend $7 million.
I'm not saying it's a positive. I'm just saying like you can't bank on it.
Oh, I
Like,
mean, yeah.
and if you get it, then it's like great. I'm not going to be rooting against that happening, but it's just you can't like.
I'm not, guys. I'm not gloating over a Sounders injury. I don't want this to happen. It's just a conversation that we've had. Like, that's the truth. I want to make it clear. I want Pedro de la Vega to be the best possible player he can be. This has nothing to do with him as a person. I don't wish anything on anyone. It's like, how am I supposed to sit here and absorb this like shitty thing happening to a player who I was very excited when he got here and want to play well? And we've seen this. It's just like the kind of situation of like, guys, this is what I was trying to tell you and I was getting shit for it, and now like the shoe's on the other foot. What's happening? So listen, you guys can be mad at me all you want, that's fine, but I just want to make it clear that like I'm not here to say that I want Pedro to be injured or I want any Sounders to be injured. In fact, it sucks ass. It sucks ass. I just want to make it clear.
I had also, I said a couple weeks ago that this DP situation needs to be heavily addressed over the off season, even in a timeline where De La Vega came back and was healthy, contributing, looked like a DP again, and he actually contributed down the stretch and in the playoffs. Even if that had happened, you wouldn't be able to go into next year banking on him as a load-bearing piece that can carry the load over 34 regular season games, all the tournaments that they play in.
Yeah,
that would be a reckless bet at this point, and that would be true regardless of what happens this season. I think it's just that in the short term here, if we're talking about this team's chances of turning this losing streak around, and because they're still in playoff positioning, and as bad as things seem right now, it's not like the craziest idea on earth that if they did get healthier and results were turning around a little bit, that you never know what can happen in the playoffs, right? So it's more like that kind of feels like it's a far away idea now at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but
No,
that's
I
just
agree with
gonna-
you.
like, so but it really, as far as like the long-term outlook is what I'm saying, like over the off season, what the DPs on this roster are going to look like next season. I kind of think the outcome of this season doesn't even really affect that, because you have this situation where 2 out of your 3 DPs can't stay on the field, and the other one, regardless of what you think about him, is 32. So that it really, as I talk through it right now, I don't really think like the long-term outlook of the roster is changed by this. It just sucks because like any notion of them contending for anything this year was probably predicated on him getting healthy and fit and contributing. And also he looked incredible today. Like that's the
Yes, he did. He did look really
almost
good
scored. He played 7 minutes and he almost scored.
Yeah.
And just looked like he looked like he was having fun too. It's just a bummer, man. It's a bummer.
Suck.
Should we toss the call
Let's
link
toss
in
the
chat?
call link in there. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm also like cooking up stuff right now as we do this. It's a classic lobbing scorchers bit here, but yeah, toss the call link out. I'll pin it once you drop it in there if you want.
Do you want me to drop it in?
Yeah, if you can.
Got it. Dropping the call link in chat right now. All right. Links in chat. Feel free to start tapping in, lay down some takes with us. Let us know what you think of a dub for the Seattle Sounders, the losing streak coming to an end. But unfortunately, another Pedro de la Vega injury. We got Tribe in here to lead it off. We got James after that, and then Timbo after that. Let's lead it off with our man Tribe. Welcome to the stage. What's going on, man? It looks like he's in the back seat of a car, so I think we're okay.
It's my
there.
room.
Oh, why is it room?
It's
Yeah, it's
further
like a
from
moving
wrong.
background. Like I was like, is Tribe driving in the pitch ass dark right now? What's going on?
Yeah.
But what's up, man? 3-0 dub, so that's good. But Pedro de la Vega exits with another injury. That's less than ideal. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, we were always supposed to win this game. They're one of the worst teams in Mexico and have been for a while. If we didn't win, it would solidify us as the worst team in MLS currently. As for Pedro de la Vega, I love him, but I've been thinking, I like to call players like him a shut-up signing. It's a signing that a club makes to shut the fans up about not signing anyone. Because at that point, we had Leo Chu, we had Manungu, we had Morris, and up top, we still had Rui Diaz when he first signed. Did we really need another winger? We should have signed a number 9, and that was the whole situation, but no. They signed a winger. I love De La Vega, but I'm just saying he's another injury-prone player that we didn't really need at that time, that we just dropped $7 million on. That was a gamble. I don't like gambles with $7 million. I like gambles with proven players in this league and in the Mexican league. I don't like this sort of gamble, especially with injury-prone players. But as for this game, okay performance. We should have won. It was a little bit scary that I'm not going to pronounce the other team's name, that they had the amount of chances that they did, because first of all, we're home. We play like beasts when we're home, especially in Leagues Cup for whatever reason. And second, we have a very, very strong back line. But the attacking play, Albert Rusnok, Paul Rothrock, my God, they are setting everything up, and they are looking back and better than ever.
It was vastly improved from that perspective. The De La Vega thing, man, it is like I understand what you're saying about not liking gambling, and I think especially now that we've kind of are seeing what the outcome is, it looks like a bad gamble. I also, man, like it's just tough because I feel like they had the talent correctly evaluated, and I understand that that's not like what it's about at this point. Like they were definitely gambling on a player that had already done an ACL. But watching him today, I was also like, man, like the ability is all there for what you
He's
want.
a special player.
He's a
Oh my
special
God.
player. And that's what you want out of those spots on your rosters, those special players and those needle movers. And like I was saying this a couple weeks ago, like the talking point of like this team never has an Evander. I'm like, they kind of do. He just doesn't play, but like he technically is on the roster. It's like
we need to have some attacking spark other than just Musovski and Derizaro up top. And we can't just be signing wingers for $7 million to shut up the fans once every 4 years. Like,
Well, we can talk about who we are potentially going to sign, which is
Go on.
a striker. And do we think do you think that some 22 to 26-year-old striker is going to be effective?
We're talking about the one that's potentially coming from Europe.
the Danish guy.
Yeah,
Casper, yeah.
no,
It
I
would
don't.
probably be a
It's still a
DP,
gamble.
like most likely.
It's still a gamble. I mean, no, I want someone proven either in Mexico or in the United States that has been doing it for a good while. Just Rui. I want that profile player. I'm not complaining completely. I like that we might get someone, but again, it has to be someone good. You know, I want the next 4 to 6 years to look like we have an absolute beautiful star up top, you know? Like, just remember when we could flex Raul Ruidiaz. Oh my God, imagine that. Remember how good that felt. How amazing it was. Him with Ladero. I want that again. That's exactly what I want, you know?
Take me back. Take me back. Tribe,
bro.
Anything else before we get James in here? And then we got Timbo, Mauricio, we got Gianni, we got CW, we got the whole gang. But any last takes, Tribe?
Nah, just shout out Kenny, shout out Caleb, love those guys. Hopefully we'll start to see the regular season have an upward spike. If not, it's good because then we'll be able to have some major changes in the club finally. So it's a win-win situation because it can't get worse than it is right now. So with that being said, I love you guys. Let's go.
Good Appreciate you, Tribe.
Good win. We won.
As always.
Let's go.
Won.
A win. The losing streak is over. All right, let's get James in here, see what he has to say about all this. He can give us the final verdict.
Now. I made my posts.
Okay, hell yeah. James, you're on the stage. Welcome in. What's up, man? The losing streak is over, but Pedro de la Vega is injured again. What'd you see? What'd you think?
Well, I wanted to comment on the debate you guys were having earlier about Pedro de la Vega, because I think you're both right. I think that Noah was right that we should have moved on. And I think that Ari was right that that was probably not viable, just giving the predilections of the owner and the general manager. Yes. They don't seem to want to, they seem to be big believers in the sunk cost fallacy. This was a story Nico Moreno was talking about that I either never heard or didn't remember, that we had a trade lined up with Raul Ruidiaz to send him to New England in like summer of 2024.
Yeah.
And we just didn't do it because it was like, well, we're not going to go out and get another designated player. And I think that sort of shows really the problem with Craig Weibel, which is an inability to work under the constraints that he's been given. Because if you look at Pedro de la Vega, there are options here. Are we going to cut him a $2 million check to buy out his contract? Probably not. I don't know that Hanauer has that much cash sitting around. But there are things that you could do. You could put him on season-ending injury. That opens up a DP spot. And then if you do decide to bring in Tangsted, then that at least you're not blowing a ton of gam on him. So that's an option. You could essentially let him walk for free and try to find somebody who is willing to take a risk on him. Because you look, maybe if he goes back to South America, he goes to a team that plays on real grass. And I know Ari's not completely convinced by that argument. But, that could be an option, and maybe they'll take up some or all of his salary. And again, you've got the same situation. You're clearing out a DP spot. And even if you just move Jesus into that spot, that's still saving you a ton of GAM. I mean, Jesus eats at least $1 million in GAM every year, and probably more than that. So there are options here beyond just sort of hoping that he gets fit. I really don't think it's fair to him at this point. Like, yes, there was some flashes there. I thought he looked slow. And I think that, the situation that we're in now, where we are struggling for points, we're on that playoff bubble. We're at a point where basically every game could feel like a playoff game, and you're taking a young player whose knee is very precarious, and these are not early season midweek games away to Colorado, where it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. These are all important games. He's going to push himself. I think that's just who he is, and he's not going to be in a position to get healthy. So, season-ending injury, try to find a taker. I think that's the best thing to do.
Do you think they will? Because I think season-ending injury is probably out of all those options, the one that I could see maybe happening depending on what the prognosis ends up being. But I'm also just like, we're at the point in the season where
I don't think they can place him on it anymore because you have to.
Is there like a deadline
on there before the secondary transfer window?
I thought it was before the close of the secondary transfer window.
Before the opening. Because I thought it was the close as well, but I just looked it up. So,
yeah, that actually makes sense.
And if the injured player is a designated player, yeah, you can replace them. And yeah, I think there's probably some they'd probably have to negotiate with him. I mean, unfortunately, that they probably should have done that earlier in the season, if that was going to be an option. But I think that goes to the point of there have been options out there, but there's been inaction because it's you, again, to what Tribe said, you're gambling on one outcome happening. And to what we were saying of Vancouver, if this happened in Vancouver, they'd just go sign someone. So we're kind of in this situation of you have options on the table, you've made your decision, and your decision isn't necessarily risk-free, even though you want to present it like that. Which I think if they put him on season-ending injury in February, I mean, I think that's probably a way you get way more time to find a replacement. You get way more time to figure out what you want to do with him, because now, what are you going to do? I think their idea, it seemed, was going to be, let's figure out what we want to do with Pedro by letting him play out the rest of the season. We'll slow roll him. We'll get him going. And then if he balls out, we'll figure out if we want to give him a high TAM deal. We'll figure out if we want to let him walk. We'll figure out if we want to trade him. We'll figure out what to do. We just need to see some more minutes from the kid. And it's damn.
I think that plan, I will say this, that is what their plan was, clearly. And I think that made sense in a world where you can expect to have him available for more than 7 minutes,
in a world in which you don't have 11 injuries.
Yeah. We don't live in that world right now, but if there was even normal league average injury situation with this team right now, that might have actually worked. That might have been not only worked, but been the smartest thing to do. Cause then you could actually get more of an evaluation on what you said, what you want to do and how you want to handle it, which now it's it feels like the situation's just kind of chalked, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I really, man, I feel so bad for the kid. It's just to put him in this situation, I just don't think is fair. I also don't think it's fair that apparently a player can go down one day after the secondary window opens and you can't put him on season-ending injury. That seems flawed. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about Tangsted a little bit. I mean, I'm sort of, I never write off anybody in MLS coming to MLS. Plenty of players with no pedigree have come here and scored a lot. But right now we're talking about our $7 million player who we are desperate to offload in any way possible. That is not a track record that leads me to believe that we should give Weibel any more time on this stuff. If I really think this is just a play the kids season. Maybe they surprise us. I mean, Sebastian Gomez, very good run, very good finish. And we'll learn where we need to be for next year. But bringing in a panic buy, a striker, I don't think that's what we need. I don't think it's going to fix everything, I should say. We're 22nd in expected goals. So are we underperforming? We're underperforming our expected goals by like 2 goals. So
That's
if
like
he
not that
comes in
bad.
there, I mean, it isn't. I mean, it's a creation problem to me more than anything. Unless Tangsted can come in and just yeet him in from 25 yards like Raul could do, or dribble through a bunch of guys like
That
Dempsey or
doesn't look like
Oba.
what he's good
That
at.
could be a game changer. But you spend more money than we have to get that. So
He looks like a Moose that's a little bit more dynamic. But like everyone knows my kind of qualms with Moose. I said it in my video that I talked about this. I would still rather take Moose than spend all of this money on this. Like, it just like doesn't make sense to me.
Is he
Like,
going to be that like
No.
Moose, but a little more dynamic is probably
and on a DP salary.
about the level that you can expect for what they're paying or rumored to be paying for him. So
well, Moose is doing actually okay in the international competitions this year. In MLS, he is whiffing at a Hebert level. The last I checked, it was like 1 goal against 3.5 xG or something, which is pretty much.
Oh my
Hebert's
God, that
whiff
is
rate.
such Hebert
Yeah,
flashbacks.
he's A-bearing. Yeah, he's A-bear maxing.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish you hadn't said that. I wish you hadn't said that. That's seared in my brain now.
But I mean, that was all predictable. Danny Musovski is not a good soccer player. He's very good at ghosting and getting open, and getting tap-ins. That's a real skill. That's a legit skill. I don't want to downplay it, but everything else he's really not very good at. And so if you're not pumping, in a bunch of 0.8 xG chances, he's not going to create anything for you. And I don't know that Tangsted really changes that equation. So
yeah, I guess we'll find out. James, any last quick takes, and then we're going to get Mauricio in here.
No, thank you very much for having me. I hope you have a great Sunday.
Appreciate you, man. Great stuff as always. Noah's got his Las Vegas Lights Moose kit.
Sorry, I had to bring it out for the Moose.
No,
Discord.
it's a fire item.
Yeah.
I still can't believe you're able to track that
He did sign
down.
it, and he said that it was one of the sickest things that he's ever signed. So I do appreciate.
It's got to be the sickest thing he's ever signed. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Who's got the Las Vegas Lights Moose kit? Like, who's got that but me? I think I'm literally the
You're
only
the only one in the country. Let's get Mauricio in here, but real quick, everyone, do us a favor and like the video if you have not yet. That's an important thing to do. Also, I know there's at least one person out there who hasn't subbed to the YouTube that's listening to this right now, and we're on the road to 4K, and we made it to 3.9 today, but then we lost one, and now we're at 38.99. So I need to, for my OCD, I need to get us to back over 3.9, and then at that point, the road to 4K is in. It's going to be double digits. So that's exciting, but help us on that road to 4K. But all right, let's get Mauricio in here. Mauricio, you're on the stage. What's up, man?
What's up?
A win for the Seattle Sounders. The losing streak is over, but Pedro de la Vega does leave with another injury. How are you feeling, man? What'd you think?
Man, I feel like, so first of all, I'll paint the picture. I was just having lunch with my girlfriend while we were, gonna watch the game. And I see that glorious number 10 flash on my screen. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's fucking go. My Pedro's back. I thought there was no timeline. I thought, there was no whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, finally we can see this. Comes in, honestly plays really good. Really, really good, creating those chances and stuff. And then I see him fall. And I legit wanted to cry. I did the T-bow. I T-bowed. I did it. I'm like, dude, how? A guy that I'm the biggest Pedro fan. I love Pedro. I love Jordan. Maybe my goats are washed already. Maybe they can't play anymore. But goddamn, that just broke my heart, man. But I'm glad we won 3-0, even if it was against Querétaro, which is not one of the best teams. I think it's so important for the team
last year, though.
They're pretty bad, but it's one of those things where it's like you can't win because if you go out and beat the shit out of them like you're supposed to, everyone's like, well, that doesn't count because they suck and you were supposed to win. But then if you had lost that game, everyone would be like, wow, you guys really are the worst team in Seattle Sounders history for losing that. So there's no way you can come out of that game like with a universal like positive takeaway like that. But that's why, I think with what we saw over the losing streak, a performance like we saw today, it doesn't matter who the opponent is right now. It like really doesn't. Like you have to just put in a good performance like that and get a result, get a win, score some goals. And also, what were your thoughts on the lineup, Mauricio? Because we like seeing the Alex Roldan double pivot, but then we advocated for changes just to like throw curveballs and change things up. And I think a Seabass start and a Peter Kingston, Alex Roldan double pivot, that qualifies. That was something that was interesting to watch, at least.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the lineup was really, really good. I think I like that switch up. I do like Roldan in that double pivot. I honestly think they played great. I think even if it was middle of the team, whatever, Querétaro, it being a team, but just some difference. I think, I don't know. It was nice to see that. It was nice to see that lineup. Musovski starting over Osaze. I do like Osaze a lot. I know, the Musovski. I don't know. I think I do like Osaze a little bit more than Musovski up top, but I think it is good to switch it up every now and then because Osaze sometimes lacks the finishing. I know Musovski can always kind of finish it off, but yeah, I think Sebastian Gomez too. Great game by him. Kind of came out of nowhere and put on a good performance. So I think it was a great lineup.
Moose, I continue to think if you just combined Moose and Osaze into the same player, you would have such a sick.
You would.
Like
you would get a good player.
Yeah. That this team needs. That's what you would have.
Yeah. I think it's hard for me to. I know that Osaze de Rosario is older and like his pedigree is not there and like he shows good moments, but it's like at this point at his stage in development, like he should be a lot better. It's still difficult for me to want to just like throw him in the trash can. Like, it's like, I wonder how much of it is him and how much of it is like none of the whenever a Sounders number 9 starts, they're unable to score unless, well, today, Danny Musovski, first one, finally breaking that streak. But I wonder how much of that is like how they're getting played in, like what their strengths are, how they're being asked to play. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting situation. And I think to speak about like the striker transfer a little bit more, I always feel like if you're going to spend money at the striker position, it's always inflated. Like attacking positions are always inflated when it comes to transfer fees. So if you're like, well, we're only going to spend $2 to $4 million on a striker, how much better are they realistically going to be than someone you can either get inside of MLS or bring up through your academy? Like if we talked about how good Danny Musovski looked because of all the pieces that were around him, right? We're looking at Danny Musovski now like he's nothing special. Yeah. But like when you have all the pieces around your striker, you can figure it out. So I don't know. That's my kind of argument around the striker situation. It's unfortunate. And also I'm like, damn, I don't want to spend $2 million. Like if you're going to spend $10 million on a striker, hell yeah. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's this like weird in between space of money that's like, you're trying to get value, but you're like 1 out of 100. When you spend more money, you're like 1 out of 10.
You're 1 out of 10. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing too. I think everybody, I know the brigade and everything is always calling for a number 9 and signing a number 9. Well, I think, I do agree. We do need a number 9. I don't think that's just going to solve all of our problems upright. And as soon as we sign that person and they don't perform because our mid can't take a pass or can't give a pass to him or set him up for anything, they're going to be like, this was the worst signing. Get rid of Craig, fire Brian. They're just going to light the whole thing on fire. But I'm like, we need, and it sounds like I might be, Craig Vrabel's favorite fan, and Brian's, but like, it truly is. Injuries have been screwing us this whole fucking season. We need our players back. We need Christian, even Jordan. I mean, he's my GOAT, but we need all these players back. Like we need them. It's hard to say that like if we had everybody back and we were on this 7-game losing streak, then I can see kind of the progression of saying, hey, something is really, really up. But with all these injuries, for people to say, hey, sign a 9 and it's going to solve all our problems, I don't think that's there.
Yeah, it's just, with the number 9 in particular, it's a position that is inherently like dependent on other positions and the functionality of the whole operation, like more so than other positions. And I do think it's like, we've been talking about it on our show, but it's worth being mindful of the fact that like any number 9 you put in there in a dysfunctional ecosystem is probably going to return similar result, unless you got like James was saying, like a freaking like Zlatan guy or like, a Rui Diaz who was able to create goals out of nothing. But even that, like when this team's offense was just let Raul try and score bangers, that was not a good offense. Like he was at his best when everything around him was resulting in him getting looks on goal. It's pretty like, it's not rocket science. But it's kind of this,
got to perform around him. It can't just be the number 9 doing everything. And I wanted to address another thing. I think I saw the comments saying they hated seeing Nuhu fight and everything, all these fights at the end. I love that, dude. I'm like, you know what? There's some fire there. There's a little bit of spark. Like, hey, let's fucking get pissed.
Yeah, you just lost 7 straight. You won. Of course, you're gonna have a little bit something to say.
Yeah, let's talk shit. Let's have Nuhu be our captain. Let's fucking, let's have him fight somebody. I don't know, but it at least shows a little bit of fire from someone. That's pretty.
Yeah, we talked so much after that Portland game of like, do you guys even realize like what the magnitude of what's going on right now? It like really just does not look like it. So you don't want to go over the line with scrapping it up like that. But yeah, a little chirping, a little trash talk, not the worst thing for a team that's been as down bad as this team. But Mauricio, great stuff, man. You got any last takes you wanted to get out there to bring it home, and then we're gonna get Gianni in here.
No, man. Thank you guys so much. Everybody, make sure you like, subscribe. Lobbing Sculptures, let's go, baby.
Shout out, Mauricio.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Take care.
See you guys.
Yeah, while we're on that topic, subscribe to the new website as well. Independent entity, lobbingscorchers.com. Written content, lots of new exclusive written content coming next week. We're gonna be heating up. So if you have not subscribed yet, shout out to everyone who has. I've been very pleased and heartened to see like how many people are subbing and giving paid subs very generously before we've even really gotten it like heating up and rolling yet. So appreciate that, but a lot more to come for those who have not subscribed yet. Gianni, you ready? Got you on the stage right now. What's up, man? The losing streak is over. Pedro de la Vega.
Whoa. Johnny's loud.
Oh, how loud am I?
Hold on, I can bring your. Just talk.
All right, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that sounds a little
coming in hot.
Yeah, you're good. Go for it.
All
Give
right.
us your takes.
Cool.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome that we got this win. It's about time we had a starting striker actually score a fucking goal. Even though it was just the weirdest fucking thing. That goalkeeper is horrendous, and we kind of made him pay for it. So you know what? That's fine. Fair play. Paul Rothrock with that first fucking assist, though, that was just an absolutely gorgeous pass.
That was a sick goal.
Line. I mean, it was on his first touch too, off his left foot. And it was nice to actually see someone else crashing the back post. Like,
yeah,
you can do that.
Rothrock
You can do that.
is the guy who crashes back post, and
you are allowed to crash the other one.
There's one other person who does that.
You are allowed to crash the other one. It does not have to be Rothrock's post.
Yeah, so I mean that was really awesome. It's nice to see that there was some energy in the team. Gomez, fucking stud, dude.
Yeah,
he's been good. That little dish off to Albert for Albert's goal was that's just heads up play. Knowing that Albert's there and knowing that he doesn't have that shot. Because of the placement of the defender. There's too many people who just like blast that into the shins of the defender. It just goes fucking everywhere. So that was cool. Yeah. And then the whole Pedro of it. My brothers in Christ. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I get that this man is signed for the end of 2027. I get that we are probably not going to buy him out. But are we going to sit him on the bench again and just keep riding this thing out. Like, we rode out, 6 months of injuries last year. We're going to ride out another, 6-8 months of injuries this year. If you're going to pay a guy not to play, might as well pay him not to play for you.
Yeah. I mean, they famously did that with Raul. They just sat him on the bench. So, I mean, I think you have to look at what they've done in the past to look to the future. And I don't think, like, honestly, listen, I don't actually think it makes any sense to, like, unless someone is here willing to trade for him or take his salary.
You can try and do that loan thing that San Diego just did with LA.
Yeah, like, unless you're willing to do something like that, which
I don't know that
no
we have enough
disrespect to Craig
creativity in
Weibel.
our-
It's like, I think he thinks he's already on the out. Why would he give a shit to even, like, attempt to do something that complex? Like, it almost just makes sense to just like 2027, right? Like,
It's the end
2027.
of 2027, though. It's the end of it. It's not this year. And so what are we going to do? Are we going to do this again next year?
I really
That's the
don't.
problem. That's the problem.
Okay, maybe I'm hoping against hope here, or I'm being naive. How would they sell going into next season with the exact same DP situation when two of them have barely played in the last 2 years and the other one is famously polarizing to begin with, but also we like Rusnak and think he's been a good DP on the team. He's 32. Like, when you have two injury prone guys that don't play and another guy who's getting up in age and whose future you were going to have to evaluate anyway, I find it hard to believe that they would attempt to sell that, but the resources are such. So
the resources are as such.
Yeah. If we're gonna be the broke boys, I mean,
Broke Boys FC. Yeah.
I mean, if the rumors are true that we're going after Tangsted and he's going to have to be a designated player, they're obviously trying to do something with one of our designated players, at least.
I just think it's silly because it's not his fucking salary that's making him a designated player.
It's the transfer fee.
It's his transfer fee.
Yeah.
And they want to get close to that $6 million. You're telling me you're going to have to make a DP because of a transfer fee, but you're also limiting yourself on a transfer fee? Dumb, stupid, broke shit. What the fuck are you doing?
It's the most galaxy brain shit that I've ever heard. Like,
it's like the Always Sunny
it's like
meme.
4D chess, except we're trying to play with checkers pieces.
We're
Like,
eating
what
the chess
fuck are we doing?
pieces, Gianni. We're eating the chess pieces.
Yeah, like instead of drawing up the contracts with crayons, we're fucking shoving them in our nose.
Yes. Yes. Because, like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. If you're going to sign a designated player, you want them to be one of the best players on your team, but you see this player as someone who may not necessarily need to be in that, or you're trying to get him on a TAM, or you're trying to, it's like, there's so much bullshit maneuvering happening. Why are you even doing that? Like,
I think part of it is with an eye towards the new CBA.
But because it's like you can't bank on that, man. Like, I get it,
but Adrian is on that board. He's one of the people making the decision on that. So he may have some inside information, though I'm not sure if he's actually legally even allowed to act on that. So like, it's kind of this gray area. Like,
it's all about the framing. Get it?
Huh?
It's all about the framing of how you provide the information, because he's a frame mogul. That was the bit.
Yeah.
That was the bit, guys.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
If he has some inside information, and let's not act like Miami isn't bending the rules to do shit too. So, like, this could be the way that
but people want to go there. That's the difference.
Yeah, people do want to go there. And
Craig admitted that Seattle is not a place that people want to go.
I don't know, as I'm looking outside and it's bright and sunny and 65,000 people used to come to these games, and everyone on the USMNT was just raving about how great the city and the environment was. I'm like,
Nico Ladero came here, Raul Rui Diaz came here, so many guys came here, Dempsey came here,
Freddie Youngberg came here. Like,
famously, he was a great signing.
It worked out really well for us. He liked to sit in first class while everyone sat in coach. It's cool. Yeah, it's all good. I'm wearing my 09 jersey just to try and, like, get a little bit of that Steez back, but MLS 1.0, 2.0 was so sick when they would fly
like public, and they would
Yeah.
like, yeah, you get the DPs up front. It was like really funny. Like that shit. We were talking to Will Bruin. You guys should go back if you haven't and watched our Will Bruin interview. That's some of the sickest like deep cut MLS 1.0 content you'll ever see. Like
when
so
half
good.
the team were like bankers and bank tellers
Yes,
and
yeah.
shit like that. It was the wildest time in the world. Like it's
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I agree. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I agree with Craig Weibel that people don't want to come here. But what he says publicly is that Seattle as a city doesn't overcome the lack of finances, the lack of salary, the lack of ability to pay what LA, New York, Miami, Chicago, Kansas City, who else is spending, you know, tens of millions of dollars on salary? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Josh Sargent, even in Toronto.
New
Toronto
England,
spends big money. Seattle, as beautiful as a city as it is, no one cares if the money's not there. And the money's not there. Self-admittedly by Mr. Craig Weibel himself.
Yeah. It's just brutal. Like it's the hard facts of this. But I also don't understand the point of bringing in Tangsted. I was looking up some of his stats.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Not scoring that many goals. It's not like he's this prolific goal scorer. It's not like he's up and coming.
Rui Diaz was a
at
Golden
Benfica.
Boot winner in Liga MX. This guy is like I
Kasper
think
Tangsted flamed out of Benfica. Then
Yeah.
he went to the Danish league. Then he got signed to a Norwegian team.
I think
Like,
Noah's like Moose, but slightly more dynamic is probably like about pinning it. Like
Another take
Why
that got
do that?
that's not
Because-
that doesn't make
Okay.
you worse, but like
Okay, but why are we signing another version of a player we already have?
yeah.
That is not, we aren't able to really facilitate them. And when we make subs, it doesn't change the way teams have to defend us. We can't keep signing the same players. You have to have some dynamism that you're able to bring in from the bench. You have to have like gear changes. Like when we brought on Pedro, it was a gear change for the 7 fucking minutes that he was on the field. He was moving around. He was actually disrupting the shape of the defense, the defense, because he would move away. It would create pockets of space for other people to run into. We have so many players on the field that love to just kind of sit and occupy their space and just not fucking move. So what, like, we're going to go get another guy who likes to kind of stand around, who isn't super dynamic, who probably isn't going to be running in behind the defense. And yeah, like we've got Jordan, but I mean, like, do we actually have Jordan?
Not right now.
Are we even confident that he is going to play meaningful minutes this year?
No.
Or is he going to get hurt again? Like, these fucking muscle injuries are killing his is killing the value to the team from him. Same as Pedro now. So it's like we have Moose and we have D-Ro. These guys play very similar styles of soccer. We need something different than that. We can't. And then when you do that, and then you start playing with a pocket winger, then you don't have anyone running up the right side either. So you only have Paul running up the fucking left side. It's just absolutely fucking bewildering that it's like, okay, we dropped Ferreira today. We actually put someone out on the wing who's going to run, and look what fucking happens.
Yeah, you have another back post runner.
Yeah, because Ferreira is never going to do that. And
yeah, it's not really
also-
his game.
No, and you can actually start getting service in from there. And if you want to have a target forward, you have to have service coming in from the wings.
And that's genius because, yeah, especially if you put Ferreira at the 10, Rusnak ages out of his contract. Let's say he wants to come back. I know people don't like this, but let's say he
I'll
takes
take
a
him as a
senior
TAM.
minimum or 500K or something. You know, like he takes a
You
massive
know what?
pay cut.
Just put like TAM is fucking fake money. Give him TAM money.
Yes. So, you know, whatever. You keep him on the roster. Jesus Ferreira moves into that number 10 position. I don't know what his escalators, who fucking, you know, whatever.
Like, I don't want to.
Whatever. But then you have, you play a double winger situation where you can get service in, and we can go back to classic Brian Schmetzer, slam the ball into the box, 5 billion crosses. Just see what happens. Just see what happens.
Because we know that D-Ro can head the ball. We know that Moose can.
Oh,
head the
yeah.
ball. Like this, if we have players who are capable of playing like that, why are we not facilitating that? Like, these are the guys, like, you want to increase our XG? Fucking start playing the way they need you to play.
Yeah, balls up over the top instead of
more
direct.
I want to increase the XG so bad. Gianni, before we get CW in here, what are your takes? So we've been talking about all these injuries and no, you're good. We've had these situations where with both Jordan Morris and Pedro de la Vega repeatedly now, where it's like they rehab, you think that they should be in the clear, they ramp up and they come back and they immediately get hurt, and invariably even more people are talking about what's going on with the trainers, with the medical staff. There's got to be something wrong. Like, what's the scapegoat? Where do you come down on all that? Like, do you question the training staff? Do you think there's anything to this, like, that's deeper than just horrendous luck? Or why is it that like these guys like can ramp up and rehab and then just can't jog 10 minutes without doing it again?
Well, so here's the thing. Like, if it's not
Yamar too,
staff, then what could it possibly be? Because I know that there's this tension between coaching staff and front office, where front office always wants the players back to get back to 100% before they start getting into games. Coaches always want to get players back as fast as they can so they can use their players. The problem, and like the trainers are supposed to be the ones informing these guys of when they're at 100% and when they're kind of game fit. If we can't actually identify when that is, I don't see how it can be anyone but the training staff. Like, who else is going to tell you? Because that's their job. Their job is to let you know, hey, this person's back from injury. Like, this person is back and ready to play. Allegedly, Pedro was back and was good for 15 minutes. Well, apparently he actually wasn't. And so it's fine, like, if it happens, like, once a guy gets, like, re-injured and you're like, oh, you know.
I mean, to be fair,
it does happen.
Injury.
Well,
but
I mean,
it's definitely like a compensation injury. Like,
it's not enough like reps and load. Yeah, you're right.
It has to be.
Yeah. So how long was he in full training for? We don't really know that. But there is something wrong. Like, I don't know if they need to be doing gait analysis on the players to check to make sure that when they're running, they're not actually compensating on their other leg, anything like that. I don't know, because I mean, I've gone through enough PT myself and I've had some of that stuff done, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to say for sure it's this or for sure it's that. But I'm also wondering, like, should we be MRIing these guys right before we start putting them on the field? Should we be MRIing them again? Are we doing that? Because we should probably be checking to make sure that there aren't any other musculoskeletal injuries that, like, or issues before we start putting them out there. What kind of weight training are they doing? Are their muscles strong enough? Are their tendons strong enough? Like, these are questions that should be getting answered, and I'm hoping they're getting answered. But if they're not, then it's like, hey, yeah, that's a real fucking problem, because that's how you end up with the worst injury situation in the entire league, and having some of the worst injury situations in the entire league. Because it's not like, oh, it's just this year. It's like, no, it happens almost every year. And yeah, other teams have injury problems too. Why is it always our fucking starters?
Other teams have injuries too, but when their players rehab and they come back, it's usually like relatively square one. And if they get hurt again, it's like not like this constant cycle of re-aggravation. Like, that is something that honestly I've said a lot, that like every team thinks they're the most injured, but the whole cycle of re-aggravation does feel like unique to Seattle. Like, I have to admit,
absolutely.
So,
and like, this wasn't a problem before. Like, this isn't something that we've always dealt with. This is in the last, like, 5 years? Like, I don't remember having this problem before. So I'm curious what has changed. And yeah, like, I really would love to know, like, what has changed and why are we having these issues? Is it a training thing? Is it a style of training that we're doing that has changed? We're not training on turf anymore. We're training on grass. These guys should be getting injured less, not more.
Gianni, great stuff as always, man. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you around.
Take care. All right, let's get CW in here. He was in here, and then I think like tapped out back in, so he was Oh, he's
Yeah.
saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I
Just
don't
give
know what you're
thumbs up,
saying,
thumbs
CW.
down.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Okay,
Thumbs
there we
up.
go.
All right, let's get him in here.
Is that what how
Yeah,
I take that?
you're good.
There you go.
So-
You're in.
I can't hear you, so I'm just going to talk.
Okay.
Gutted for Pedro. Seba, great fucking game. This was Snyder first scoring game a level above. I'm glad we got the win. I kept my Goose jersey on. Noah, this is for you, bro.
That's so
Well, wait,
sick.
I got more. How about a Casey autograph? How about Raul graded? How about Christian graded? This is all I wanted to show you, man. This is why I'm here. Nico. Oba. This card, autographed, went through the roof since I bought it, bro. RBW.
My goat. My goat.
I can't hear you guys. I hope you're enjoying this. Cody Baker.
Bring him home. Bring him home.
And this one breaks my heart. This one breaks my heart because I love this guy. He bleeds eternal blue. Autographed, serial numbered Pedro.
My goat.
I'm broken for Pedro. I wish I could hear you guys. Tonight was redemptive, I think. But we can do more. Max Anchor, welcome to be a fucking Sounder. Getting up, defending Andrew, picking that fight. I don't care if you ever play a goddamn minute. You are a Sounder now. Fuck everybody. That was balls. That's what we need. Fuck yeah. I want that every game from here to the end of the season. I want somebody to nut up and do that. D-Row defending Jesus at the end of the game. Nuhu getting pissy. Yeah, he didn't have the captain's armband. Good. Let him do that shit. We need that fight. We haven't had it for a while. I can't hear you guys, but that's my take. I appreciate you. Cut me off.
Love it.
CW, incredible stuff
Beautiful.
as always. Great stuff with the cards, but also I did want to note with CW rocking the Goose jersey. I'm so disappointed in myself and really us collectively when we were having the number 6 discussion, and I was going back through the history of it, and we talked about João Paulo and Ozzy Alonso
Goose
and
erasure,
Obed and
bro.
Christian. It was Goose erasure, and as a Swede, a fellow Swede. And also the fact that he is he's underratedly one of the best players like in that group, and like a perfect example of the type of profile we were talking about that they're missing with like one of the all-time dirty work players in the history of the Seattle Sounders, Gustav Svensson, who once famously said, my whole job is cleaning up shit, but that's what I've been doing my entire life, so it's fine.
Georgie
And
just commented on our Instagram post. And
let's go.
is laughing about Nuhu trying to take the fight into the tunnel. He says, laughing emoji, this guy.
Georgie, what's up, Georgie? We love you.
Georgie's so tapped in with Sounders shit.
He's
Like,
an LS head. He's an LS head
yeah.
for sure. He's gonna call in.
we need a Georgie call in at some point. We should do a Georgie interview. We'll set that up in Colorado. I'm sure.
All right.
they'll
I think Scott was. We had like a reversal situation, or was Jesus first? I don't remember.
Jesus has been in first, and then it's Scott. Yeah.
Okay, let's get Jesus first, and then we'll do Scott. Looks like Scott's driving, but Scott, if you stop, we'll get you in.
We'll give you a heads up when you're ready to go, Scott. Jesus.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up,
It finally
Jesus?
felt good to win after that. Oh, this was also signed by Paul Rothrock.
Hey,
let's go.
I got it. Yeah, but like, not gonna lie. As a Chivas fan myself, I absolutely despise Querétaro. What they did to Atlas in that riot, if you guys don't know what happened back in 2022, it completely destroyed the league and the fans, and all over Mexico was in complete crisis. But My takes on today's game was we showed some fight, and I was just cussing at Querétaro players at the last match. I was so pissed, and I'm a big fan of Mexican football, but just don't like what players like to do all the time.
What a bunch of crash out crybabies. We haven't really talked about it that much, but that was near Inter Miami Leagues Cup Final 2025 tier level of crash out crybabying. What was that?
Yeah, worse. I feel like this is worse than Inter Miami. I mean, it happens in Mexico all the time, which like it happens in like rivalry matches, what you see Tigres Monterrey, Chivas Atlas, America, which honestly, as a Chivas fan, I'm gonna have to root for America today because they're gonna need that beat. They're gonna need to quiet down that Providence Park later today. So everybody has to be an America fan.
Today we are all America fans. Come
Oh
on.
man,
we
do we
Let's
think
go.
the Timbies are okay? Like I was just in Portland, and also I was hanging out with my friends who are from Portland, and they were visiting last night, and their fan base is flying high. They think they're good. They think they're like a contender now. So
Watch
I think
when they
this
face
club,
somebody when they face an LAFC type team.
well,
They
so
know.
this is gonna be the test. They're playing Club America, one of the biggest clubs in Mexico. If they
But
are for
haven't been
real, they
good in
should
the
be
past
able.
2 seasons.
True, but it's still like, it's the Timbies. Like if they can win this
Yeah,
game,
it's the
I would
Timbies.
give that to them as like a very impressive result. So let's see if they can do it. But
Yeah.
I have my doubts.
But my other is that it sucks what Pedro La Vega has to go through yet again. I don't know what's going on with the medical staff. It reminds me of a 49ers situation again because everybody in the 49ers team is also injured. Like, is our training base literally based on an electrical set or something? Because
Oh,
why
We
are
might
we
God.
need
getting
to do
so
an
much
investigation
injuries?
into this, Ari. I think
Dude.
I might need to go out next week and film
Someone
something.
commented on one of our last videos. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, there actually is a substation next to Long Acres. And I was like, oh no,
Dude,
we
nah.
cannot be like becoming the 49ers.
Wait,
Like,
I also
can't
got
do
a
that.
question. Was also Boeing on that site? Because I know Boeing's
Yeah.
based in Seattle.
Boeing
but-
was,
oh,
yeah,
then
yeah.
it might be a Boeing situation too.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
they have like a
Jesus, you're
nuclear
cooking.
reactor in the-
You're
in the-
cooking.
Yeah.
Might be a Boeing situation, whatever. I don't know how to say, but
Yeah, we don't know.
And what? Oh, the also good things is Daniel Milwaukee finally getting a goal from open play. Finally, it's been a fat minute.
Yeah, him
And then this
getting
is
a
the
goal
first
in
time I woke
general.
up actually excited for a Sounders game. I think since we returned from the World Cup.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
and
like I got excited for the Timbers games, but once we started this losing streak, I was like,
Yeah, I woke up. I was like, God dang it.
we're
I was
back.
like,
And
I was like
then-
interested to watch them, but in like a morbid fascination kind of way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and then we face Chivas, and I live in the Yakima Valley where it's literally just Chivas and America mixed together. I wonder how much people are gonna go over there. I mean, mind you, tickets for that game is like almost $200.
It's gonna be
And I was-
outnumbered. I mean, there's gonna be more Chivas fans there. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere where Chivas goes, they fill it up. No matter where they go. If they go to a rival stadium, it'll be filled up. If they go to like, I don't know, if they probably go across the ocean, they're still gonna fill it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's
all I
wild.
see. Like they're the biggest traveling fan base I think it's them and Club America because they filled out LAFC Stadium. And honestly, when I saw that game, I was like, wow. I mean, Los Angeles is the second biggest population of Hispanic people. So, and also I live in an area where there's a lot of Hispanics too. The Yakima Valley, shout outs to them.
Shout out Yakima. Shout out. We love the dry ciders.
And then also pray for Spokane.
Yeah.
Off topic, pray for Spokane.
We're
brutal.
working
It's
on
horrible.
putting together a bit of a fundraiser with our friends at Spokane Soccer Show as well. We'll announce that
Yeah.
this week. But we're trying to find directly some community resources for people and kids who lost all of their stuff in the
Yeah.
fires. So we're gonna be
But I got a
fundraising
hot
for that
take
here soon.
on you guys. Would you guys want to go back to Spokane, or is what you think no?
I'm a little torn on that because we had a great time there and the novelty of it was incredible and the fans out there were incredible and we met so many cool people. But it does strike me as the type of thing that it's like, yeah, it was cool one time, but like realistically, you should not have to do that. And it's kind of speaks
Nah.
to a lot of the stadium issues that they have to where when I look at the fact that they had to do that, I'm like, I see where they're coming from with like wanting their own venue. Like honestly, like because but like at the same time, like it was awesome. Like, and the people out there like appreciated it and had a great time.
Yeah.
So I think the idea of going out there, maybe not like all the time regularly, but every once, like
It'd be
periodically.
cool for them to do preseason stuff out there.
Or
I
you
think
know,
preseason, like, but on my new preseason, I feel like coming to the sprint season, it's cold as hell over there and it snows
That's
a lot.
true.
But I feel like once we get into that new season, like when it starts like European style, I feel like we could do it. And it could host like a fan fest, like how the Seahawks did yesterday.
Yeah.
They could do type of that, meet the players, and speeches from the coaches. But yeah, I will also be there at that Seahawks opening game. I know it's not Sounders related, but I'll be there at that game. $1,146 for 3 tickets. So outprice.
Hey, listen,
But
don't
I
say
mean,
that
what can
too
you-
loud because the Sounders front office just said, "I'm sorry, we can charge how much?" So,
Oh,
well, hey,
no.
Jesus, dude, thank you so much for calling in. We're gonna
Thank
get
you guys
Scott
for
in
having
here
me.
now. Yeah.
And I'll see you guys. When is the next game? Tuesday? Or Thursday?
Oh man, I'm not sure off the top of my
Something.
head, but we'll see you. We'll see you
Someday.
But I'll
regardless.
see you guys that day when the game
Yeah.
comes around. But have a good day. Thank you guys for having me. And go
Oh,
Sounders.
yeah.
See
Appreciate you, Jesus.
All right, I have to tap out of here. I'm sorry. I'm getting.
No, you're good. I'll take the last couple here,
All
and
right.
then we'll
Sorry,
call
Scott.
it a wrap.
Sorry, Sticks. Love you guys. Okay. Bye.
Later, Noah. All right, we got Scott and we got Caleb, and then I have to be out of here by 4:30 at the latest. So I think these are going to be the last two. If anyone else taps in, we'll see if we can work it in. But I think these are going to be the last two. Let's get Scott in here. He's been waiting. He's in his car. He's not driving. Scott, welcome in. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I got you. The losing streak is over. 3-0 victory for the Seattle Sounders. But Pedro de la Vega leaves injured once again. How are you feeling about all this? What do you think?
I mean, it's nice to end the winning streak, but or end the losing streak. But it sure feels like every game this year, anytime we have a big win, it's combined with some kind of devastating injury. There hasn't been like any pure joy this season. It's been very rough.
Yeah,
I do want to do a little bit of work for the Sounders Alliance Council today. I am a member of the Sounders Alliance Council, and we don't get a lot of power as season ticket holders. The one power we get is that we get a GM vote every 4 years, and it's coming up this year. And every other time that the GM votes ever happen, it's been a gimme. Obviously, we wanted to keep them, and this time it's not. And so we're going to have a vote this October, and anybody who's a season ticket holder can vote. And we need, for the vote to even count, we need 40% of season ticket holders to actually vote. And the other thing is we're trying to hold some kind of debate this fall so that people can hear it. We'd love to have some of the independent media like you guys be involved. Where do you stand on this, on the GM vote?
I'll be interested to see what happens with it, because my impression of it, like you mentioned, is that the participation threshold it's just very hard, it seems, to get to reach it. And in the past, it's also been situations where it just felt like even if there was a vocal minority that was like Garth out, there was never any like real momentum behind like a sentiment where he would lose the vote. So like you mentioned, this time it is a different situation. The team's not performing well. The GM is under fire. The owner is also dealing with allegations of being broke. So like I've been up until the first Portland game, I was pretty skeptical that there would actually, it felt like more of like probably a vocal minority thing than anything that actually felt like it had a chance at happening. But it seems like I don't know, like you're more tapped in, I guess, to the sentiment of the people who are going to be voting than we are over here. Like, have you gotten any sort of vibe of like the level of momentum behind how to vote, or are you still feeling like participation might be tough?
I think participation is going to be tough. I think it's going to be better this year than any other year. And we're going to be putting a lot of effort into letting people know. The Sounders, we help some, but don't help a ton. So, it's more of a grassroots kind of thing. how do you feel personally? Do you want Weibel to win to survive this vote?
I'm skeptical that swapping the GM would change anything. And I don't think like his record is as bad as the people who really want him out think. I think his record is a little more mixed, and I think he's done some good stuff. So I guess I would say I'm a little conflicted on it. But what I will say is that from what I understand, it's not really even about him or his record that much, so much as it is, like you said, like using the one lever that you have as fans and season ticket holders to send a message to ownership than like, more than saying like Craig Weibel is the worst GM ever. It's more just like what we're seeing on the field. We don't think as season ticket holders is acceptable. And we're going to use this lever to send a message. I think as the season ticket holders and the people who are paying money to go to these games and watch this team, you guys have every right to make your voice heard in that way and use that lever, regardless of what any of us think of the GM. So because it's the only lever that you really have, right? Like you said. So like if the sentiment like makes people feel like they want to vote a certain way, like I'm all for like the premise of it. But as for like my own personal feelings on whether I think Craig Weibel's record merits him being ousted, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm a little more deferential to his record and the constraints he's had. I don't think he's been like this incompetent disaster. I don't know if it's like fully his fault, the situation the team is in right now. You could definitely argue it hasn't helped the situation, but I also don't know if ousting him and putting in someone else would change anything. So I know that's a really long answer, but I just am conflicted on the topic, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think like I like the guy as a person. Every time I've heard him talk, he's smart. Like he knows what he's talking about. I question whether he has the thing to like pull these deals over the finish line, because I feel like there's a lot of like half deals that we've had interest in and stuff, and we just couldn't convince the guys to come. And
I think we might have lost Scott. He's frozen. Gonna take him off, put him back on, see if that helps. Okay, Scott, we appear to have lost connectivity there wherever you're driving. Sorry about that, man. I guess I'll just get Caleb in here because it seems like we lost Scott. Sorry, Scott. You were cooking. Great stuff. But we'll catch you next time, man. We're gonna get Caleb in here and then I think get up on out of here. But Caleb, what's up, man? You're on the stage right now. I can see you. I can hear you. A win for the Seattle Sounders finally, but Pedro de la Vega, unfortunate injury exit. How you feeling, man?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, please share, subscribe to the beautiful independent Lobbing Scorchers, where they have beautiful QED coffees, Forever Blue, Forever Girls podcast too. So let's support our beautiful community and bring unity to this beautiful soccer community. So to start off with that, opening statement for me, I think that I gave Sebastian Gomez drumsticks for a reason. And you're seeing a little bit of those fruits of that labor. Max Anchor, I gave drumsticks to him. You're seeing it again, those fruits of those labor. And to be honest, I am will admit that I will take this one on the chin. Albert got his goal, well against the brigade, and I'm telling the brigade, let's not cherry pick. Let's not be no. Let's not being obsessed. All right, there. Let's be fair on this one. It was a great win all around for good jargon for not just for the team, but just for the city, so we could just get something.
Yeah.
I mean, this gets us something, I think, over the hump, and it gets us a little bit more leveled and grounded. Yes, the Pedro de la Vega thing. It's I felt like that was coming already, and I was just like, you know what? I'd rather get that out the way now. And I really, to be honest, like I think he's really gonna go demigod. I really think this whole team, as much as like it's crazy for me to really think about it, but I'm really still delusional as the Sounders fan that I am, because I give it to see all of you guys that's given me the belief to be this delusional, to believe that there is a possibility that we can always still get Philip. And I'm still holding on to that with the biggest lightning bolt of like confidence because I really do think that it's like, yeah, with the, if anybody's ever watched the movie Atlantis, Lost Empire, the greatest quote is, "It's been in my experience, when you hit bottom, the only place to go left is up." And so I think we're really about to go on a bigger up than I think the city understands. Yes, the injuries look rough. The cloud looks weary, but I really do think that we're about to get smacked in the mouth with just punditry, with just like, class and certain things. I still feel like, because that's what always the Sounders, they always have that. That's always something was always favoring in the Sounders corner. And the result today was like, again, absolutely all around, we needed a win. But there's still problems that we're still trying to address and face. Not just only on the field, but always also like, on and off, like with the front office and things. But for now, I think that this is there's always more to work on. And I don't think that even any of those players right now are taking it for granted, being like, okay, yeah, like, we get out of jail card. Like, no, they're like, I'm being a Brian right now. I don't think that they feel like this win is just a get out of jail card. No, this is they're really ready to now be like, okay, let's not show that we're just like one hit wonders. Like, just putting out little singles for people to certainly sing and just trend, and then at the same time it just fades out. And I think for the transfer, for transfer rumoring, I'm just saying like this, like, okay, as much as the other caller, and let's go into the Seahawks game. I mean, I'm sorry to the whole Seahawk Nation. As a diehard New England Patriots fan that I am, I'm just gonna say a quote from Stephon Diggs. It says, "We all we got, and we all we need." I mean, I think that we could really. I really think, like I said, that's still the delusional thing in me. But I give it back to you for any questioning or.
No, I mean, good stuff, man. I think, thinking about Philip right now, I know it feels delusional, and I felt delusional when I let my mind wander there as well. But it's really not like as bad as this losing streak has been, and as bad as these things feel when you're in the moment in MLS, things can change on a dime in this league. Like, this was the worst team in the league in 2016, and they won MLS Cup that year. This looks like the worst team in the league right now. But with theoretical, I don't want to jinx anything, but with an ostensibly improving bill of health, Pedro de la Vega notwithstanding, but you get your Christian Roldan back. You get on the mend a little bit. You shore up the midfield, which the midfield looked better today. All it takes is getting hot in the playoffs to make something happen. So that is, as delusional as it feels, that's what's on the table for this team right now, regardless of how League's Cup goes. So I guess, if you, I'm not going to begrudge anybody looking at this game against this opponent and telling themselves that, even if it's like, we should also keep in perspective that this team did just rip off a 7-game losing streak. But Caleb, I got to get Hunch in here, and then I got to run. But give us one more take and to bring it home.
Well, I'd like to say, like I said, Hunch, please benedict the show. close us out in the best way possible, because I know with wise words of Hunch, he will guide us. And to the Sounder Nation, we still keep the faith because we are still Sounders and we are going to get through this. And to those Sounders that keep through the ups and through the downs, you are honored. You will always be honored, and you are always loved in this community. And I will soon be giving sticks out and giveaways soon, but we'll talk about that later. But again, enjoy the day, enjoy the leap week. Let's go Sounders. God bless.
Appreciate you, Caleb. Catch you on the next one. All right, we're gonna let Hunch cook for a couple minutes here. CW, I have to bounce at like 4:30ish, so I'm gonna call it after Hunch. Sorry, but thank you to everyone who called in today. Awesome show again. Another banger post game show as always. Let's bring the man himself. Let's get Hunch in here to close it out. Hunch, you're on the stage. You're our last caller of the day. You were at the game. How was it?
Yep. So I'll tell you this. Going into the game, I was talking to folks, like, my perspective was, it's not being jaded. If you're not used to CONCACAF and you get into some of these matches, we're talking years back, and you expect to play the game that you've been playing, and you go against some of these teams and some of these officials, you get exceptionally angry, like, at things that are going down. And after multiple years of that, you're kind of like, all right, I know what I'm in for. Does it make you less angry at the time? And then eventually you're like, okay, I can only laugh at this. So I'm in that mindset of like, I don't have an expectation. And any positive to me starts with a non-loss. So if we didn't lose today, I was going to take it as a positive. And then from there, even if we did, I was telling myself, well, even then, what positives can we find in what we see? And even then, we may not be able to discern those positives because there may be negatives that are preventing those positives from executing because they just don't have the right support. Like we've talked about with the 9. We may see great play from the 9, but if they aren't getting the service, it may be hard to discern that if we don't account for the fact that maybe the service isn't there to start with, meaning we may degrade the 9's performance because the midfield isn't contributing or the wing or for whatever reason. So I was setting myself up like that. And obviously that went much better than could have been expected. I'll say this, we're going to find out real quick on Wednesday if this is a fluke, like real quick, which I think that's probably the Jesus not starting conversation.
Yeah.
I did predict Alex would come off, or not come off. I thought Alex would slot back to the right, bump KKR up on the right wing, and bring Gomez off. But after he scored, it's kind of like, well, you kind of got to leave him now. Like he's getting it done on that side. But I also was not accounting for Alex's not 90-minute fit, and getting him off was important in terms of his health. So I was a little surprised. I mean, Jesus did come on for Alex, but he obviously didn't play back there in the center mid. He immediately pulled up, and I can't tell you who they slotted back. It was hard to tell.
Seabass was slotted back.
Okay.
That's what they've been doing when like I guess he's among the contingency plans. But what did you think of Alex and the double pivot? Because I mean, we were talking about how we felt like on our last pod that like we felt like that could help the situation, and I thought it did.
I mean, he's obviously a calming presence, but I also think that Fry's performance. So let's go back a game. Fry, somebody asked, and I know I mentioned this in the last call. Fry in the last game looked like he was prepared for a team to play some defense in front of him and got scored on with his feet planted. And after that, he played the rest of the game realizing that no one was going to block a shot and no one was going to stop anything in front of him. It was going to be on him. But I also see that as him establishing himself back on the field and then obviously back in his captaincy. And I think him being back in this game, we've looked and we've said for the last several months, there's not a leader on the field. We just haven't seen it. Like there's nobody stepping up and grabbing this game or grabbing players by the scruff of the neck. And I think there's something to be said for having that presence on the field, him starting again here today. Not that he had to play that way, but the rest of the team sort of coalesces around someone who is a fixed point as in a leadership role. So you bring that into today, and you see just an overall better performance from the team, maybe starting at the back to some degree. So that said, it gives you stability to play with the rest of the field in terms of who's up there past the back line. I don't quite understand why KKR got in the doghouse for like a few games in the early season, because dude has never really looked like he's wavered to me.
He had I love KKR. I think he's one of the sickest players on the team. He had the only thing I can think of, at least in recent weeks, is among the many people who had rough goes in the 5-1 Portland debacle, he had a rough one. But like, really, other than that, I've been like fired up on KKR this year. Like, he's super fun in attack and athletic, and actually offers end product, and is athletic and fast enough to like keep up with some of these very big, fast, athletic attackers that you have to defend in MLS and Leagues Cup and CONCACAF. So I'm all on the KKR stock. He's like, everyone had a bad game that day. I don't see why that should be held against him.
You can't. No single game can anybody ever be called out, in my opinion. Like, everybody has a bad day now and then.
Yeah.
And if it goes up against somebody's best day, it looks even worse. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. But KKR, like, he's got the defensive mindset in that he's not like, oh crap, I need to play defense. He already understands like how to position himself, what he wants to do with a defender that he's marking or a defender who's in possession. He understands who's going to back him up in terms of like, if I get beat going long, if I get beat with him cutting in, I know what's going to happen. I also know I'm going to try and position him to try to do that to me, and I'm going to take something away. But even more so, once he's in possession, he's happy to go down the wing, not like a new dude, but he's happy to go down and slice and dice somebody. He'll take somebody on 1-on-1, and he'll put something on a plate for somebody, or shoot himself, even better. So like, he's got a lot in both ends. And like I said, he's not somebody who has that offensive prowess that's slot into the defense. He's got the defensive mindset to understand how to be, to not be exposed, as it were, but also how to like shut somebody down using defensive prowess. I'm glad that we got the win. I'm glad we got the shutout. I still don't understand. He scored, but I still don't understand why Kingston's not on that right wing as opposed to in center mid. And maybe he's got the chops for it, but I thought he
hit some really good dimes today from that spot, to where I was like, I said on our last show that like, him as a 6, especially when paired with Snyder, but like him as a 6 just doesn't seem like that's not the best use of his skill set. He seems very clearly like a wide attacker, either from a wing back or just a pure winger role. So like him as a 6 isn't the best use of his skill set, but he had a couple through balls, including one of the ones that set up one of the goals, where I was like, okay, Pete.
Well, just like we were talking about with KKR, literally just now. Kingston is somebody who's able to play, and he's like, oh crap, I have to play defense. He doesn't have the defensive mindset that I think someone in that position would. It looks like you can see him literally trying to play defense, which a good defender naturally plays defense in the way that they glide over, that they're positioned correctly. They can pick somebody up, or they can just basically shadow somebody without, committing a foul, let's say, or intentionally committing a foul when they need to. Kingston just doesn't seem to have that natural flow as a defender to me. And that's not a criticism. He just seems like
it's just not really, it's not really his, it's tooled for different jobs, not his skill set.
Right. So I'm a little surprised he's stuck in there. And Alex, somebody else quoted, or it was on Blue Sky or whatever. Somebody said something about like the Sounders' chance increased when the Roldan count is greater than 0.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said something
Put a Roldan on it. Put a Roldan. That should be the motto of the organization. Welcome to Seattle Sounders FC. Put a Roldan on it.
Yeah. So I come back something like, the Roldans are the equivalent of dark matter in terms of Sounders physics. They're, the most dominant force in the universe. And if you don't account for them, here we are. I'm both shocked and not shocked that he played in that position. I'm not shocked he did well. But I'm a little surprised we didn't slide him over and bump KKR. Neither here nor there.
Has anyone tried this for other walks of life? Because you can fix every soccer problem by putting a Roldan on it. Like, you put these guys on like medical science or something. Like you could solve a lot of problems apparently.
So what you're saying is we need to get Billy Mays and replace Flexacil with a Roldan.
It solves every problem for the Seattle Sounders. I see no reason why it can't work. They're both very multifaceted individuals, man. Like you could
you see
put
this
them on a lot
screen
of
door?
things.
We built a boat out of it. We applied Roldan across it. Look at it. It floats like a boat.
Cesar Roldan or Cesar Roldan. That's who we need to put on this next.
Is he from the Galaxy? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah. He's on their medical staff, and they are not as injured as this team.
Well, I mean,
they've had their own issues.
Also pointed out, we are literally a team that is sponsored by a health/hospital system. Who are we shocked by the fact that we represent that on the field? Now, I tried pointing out in chat couple whatever backs. In the first 6 matches in MLS this season, we had 5 first half injury substitutions. That's insane. And then I was half trying to keep up with like how many teams do we play? Like if you think it balances out, it's like, well, over the course of the season, 5 or more teams will have a first. I think 2 total. Like this, I'm beyond this being a fluke, and there needs to be a deep dive on this.
What's the conspiracy hunch? Is there a substation by Longacres? Is there something nefarious going on? What is it? The De La Vega thing today? I'm like, okay, like that. It does not happen all that often that you see guys come back like this and re-aggravate after 5 to 10 minutes of playing, like Jordan keeps doing, and like David did today. That is something you do see happen sometimes. You do see guys either come back too soon, or they're compensating, and it's like, oh, I re-aggravated. Or I guess in De La Vega's case, it wasn't a re-aggravation. I keep saying that, but he did something else because it was like a compensation injury. But like you see that happen sometimes, but not like this. This doesn't happen.
And the thing is, we need some metrics to go around this. And if it's going to come down to it, like it's not my job to report on the Sounders, but I'm looking at some things that maybe can generate some stuff.
Wait, hold on. James says he answered in a super chat. My bad, James. I didn't see that. He says Weibel signs players with serious past injuries. I don't think that probably explains, like with De La Vega. Could that be part of the explanation? In all likelihood, yes. But that can't possibly explain all of this. It can't.
De La Vega had, if he did have an injury in the past, he had an injury. And
it was a bad one. It was a bad one.
4 injuries, and they're not all the same. So, like if I'm prone to spraining my ankle, and I never sprained my ankle, but I ripped every other ligament in both legs over the course of 3 years, it's like, well, he had an ankle injury. We should have known. It's like that. No, that's a non. Those don't compare. And I'm pretty sure it was his right knee that he messed up in New York last year, and it was his left quad that he did this time.
Yeah. But that tracks as something that's like when you come back from something too soon, you stress something by trying to compensate.
Here's my point. Here's my point. What limitation did he have on working out or exercising or exerting his left quad up till now if he's rehabilitating his right knee? And even if he was prepped to come back, because we're going to jump to this topic, I guess, if he is prepped to come back and now be on the field, what sort of levels of strenuous scrimmaging and everything else where he would have to sprint or do whatever else was required when, let's call it hot, if that's what it was heat on the field on artificial turf, was he put under, and how many times to not have sussed out him exerting himself to the point where he could have potentially injured himself again? And if he didn't do that, then how was he cleared? If you haven't brought him to those levels, what are you doing putting him on the field? So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned with him, done deal. That's it. I've got 2 metaphors for you. One, he's the forest near the town that if we don't burn it down in the future, there's going to be a forest fire and it's going to take out the town. We're biding our time. The other is he's that hot girl that, if she just returned the text, every other day, every other week, she'll like say something nice to me. But I swear one of these days she's gonna be like, let's go on a date. Let's do this. I finally see the light. No. You're killing yourself waiting on this. And the resources we spend trying to rehab him, trying to develop him, as opposed to trying to develop other players, even to bring back up from Defiance, are time wasted. Like this needs to be a done deal because you're only sinking further costs. Even if you maintain them until the end of 2027, it's a waste. That's you're wasting only more. This is a distressed asset that needs to go at all costs, because anything else spent is further cost loss, and it's actually inhibiting any resources that would be put into those places, both from a strategic standpoint, from the coaching staff being able to prep around not having that player in that spot, but also developing players to take that spot and be on the field earning minutes. It's a distraction in addition to the literal costs that go with it. So I like the guy. I got nothing against him. The experiment's done. Like done, as far as I'm concerned.
A dark note to end on, Hunch, but I got to get out of here. But if you got any last takes to get out there to bring us
should have
home.
passed to Paul Rothrock to give him a goal with 2 assists. But if he converts that and makes a goal, how can you argue with it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see someone else crash in the back post too.
I mean, it's real interesting, and God, this would be another thing to look up. But look up players who come to the team that are offensive wingers and forwards, and look at that have left the team, and look at when they did score goals. I will bet you it's in the first 25% of their career at the Sounders, and then after a amount of time, whatever gets beaten into them, and they just don't become productive. It's almost as though they have this joie de vivre to like take the energy and run and go and attack, and it gets beaten out of them, so they lose their offensive prowess. And I'm curious to see. I mean, what was the? Well, I can't think of. There's other players, but so many players that we brought to this team that have been here 1 or 2 years who have scored goals in like their first 4 or 5 games and then never again. It's like, what happened? Anyway, I'm glad Gomez scored. We'll really see
that was fun.
A flash in the pan on Wednesday.
Yeah. Shout out Seabass, giving us an exciting young guy to talk about. I appreciated that. But all right, Hunch, good stuff, man. I got to run,
man.
but
thank you.
Thanks for tapping in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, dude.
Well, CW, I brought you on, but I do have to leave. So I'm going to get out of here on that, but thanks for tapping in, everybody. Another great post game. Finally, Seattle Sounders win to talk about. So that was fun, if nothing else. I know the Pedro situation obviously put a damper on it at the end there, but they did get a win. They scored 3 goals. Albert Rusnak scored a goal. Danny Musovsky scored a goal. Sebastian Gomez scored a goal. There was stuff going on. There was chirping between Seattle Sounders and opposition. But appreciate you all for the support as always. And also, please support our new independent website outlet. Going to be a lot of writing, going to be a lot of blogging, going to be a centralized home for all things Lobbing Scorchers. We're pumped up. We're excited about it. I'm excited to actually get churning on it. That's my goal for next week, is to put my head down and really turn that into what we're kind of envisioning from our independent project. So a lot more to come on that front, but we'll also keep covering Leagues Cup, keep covering this team, keep covering MLS. So the grind continues next week, but till then, I'll catch you all next time. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.